I thought to cover some of the topics around the browser and browser binaries related information. Binaries. So, if we need to work on any web application, either it is an e-commerce, banking, or any web application, we need a browser in order to work on it. And coming to Chrome browser or any browser, so instead of Chrome browser, let's think about any web browser. So we have different web browsers, right? So we have Chrome, we have Edge, we have Firefox, etc. So we have so many web browsers. And coming to the Selenium Java, so Selenium was there from 20 years and there were multiple versions like Selenium 1, Selenium 2, Selenium 3 and Selenium 4. And in the Selenium 4 also currently we are in Selenium 4.25.0, and there has been lot of changes happened in the Selenium, and because of that there were lot of changes happened in the browser and browser binaries. So in the day 1 and day 2 I did not talk about anything about the browser binaries. What is browser binaries? So if you take a Windows operating system, every browser will have an exe file. So if I consider the Chrome browser also have an exe file in Windows. So in other operating system, the uh, corresponding extension will be there. In terms of Windows, it is an executable file. So if we do not have this executable file, the browser cannot interact with the Selenium code. So this driver, whatever is available, it will help me to interact with the browser and the browser binary is required. So this is a mandatory thing. If you talk about Edge browser, Edge driver.exe, and in case of Firefox, it's not Firefox driver, it is called as Gecko driver.exe. So similarly, like a Safari driver, Safari.exe. So other browsers also have the accordingly like Opera driver and other things. So this every browser will have a browser binary, and if you consider Selenium WebDriver, it has been started in development from uh, Selenium 2 version onwards. In Selenium 1, Selenium WebDriver is not there. So Selenium 2 onwards, WebDriver is introduced. Selenium 2, Selenium 3, and Selenium 4. So in order to launch a browser, right, you need to also have a driver exe file. In latest version of Selenium, that dependency is slightly removed, and internally it is automatically happening. So that process, how it happens, and everything I'll explain today. So if we think about this browser, whatever browser we are seeing, right? If you are launching any browser, that is the browser window we are seeing. In the background, there will be a binary file which is required in order to interact with the Selenium code. So the driver exe file will act like an intermediate communication channel, which will help us to communicate with the Selenium code and the browser. So how it exactly happens? Let's see. So in terms of Selenium 2 point any version, if you are in case your current project is using either Selenium 2 or Selenium 3 or even Selenium 4.0 to 4.5.x. So from Selenium 6 onward, there is some change happened. 6.0 onwards. So from Selenium 6.0 onwards, there is a new feature introduced into Selenium like Selenium Manager. So Selenium Manager is a new functionality which is inbuilt to the Selenium. Whenever you are taking the Selenium, right, automatically the Selenium Manager comes inbuilt, and there is no additional things we need to do. We do not need to do anything else. So currently I am using in my laptop Selenium 4.25.0. So in the day 1 we have discussed about 4.25.0. So 6 is the old version and 25 is the latest version. So Selenium Manager is already available in my machine whenever I am using the latest version. That's why we didn't talk about anything about the browser binaries. Whenever I talk about launching the browser in the previous sessions, but if you are using the older versions of Selenium or even the versions of Selenium 4 before the Selenium 4.6 like 4.5, 4.4, any older versions, you need to use some additional steps in order to launch the browser. So let's discuss that, and also the Selenium Manager, how it actually take care of that. Like we are not doing that explicitly, right? So how it is happening and why it is not required for us now, we will see that. Um so this is applicable for all the browsers, not only for Chrome, Edge, Firefox, all the other browsers, whatever Selenium supports. The Selenium Manager currently take care of that. So let's see. So before, let's talk about how the code used to be before Selenium 4.6. So Selenium 4.5, 4.4, or Selenium 3 also, some projects are still working in the companies. So in case you are seeing the code there, it will be slightly different from whatever I am talking. So let's understand how the syntax will look like. So generally how we are writing the code, Chrome driver, any driver variable we can create, the name can be anything, and new Chrome driver. This code will launch the Chrome browser. Launch the Chrome browser. And I'm not using any line of code in the previous two sessions for writing anything about the driver exe file. So Chrome driver exe file, I did not write anything. But if you are using an older versions, right, you definitely need to do that. In order to do that, there is one additional step before writing this code you have to do. That is system dot set property, and in this we have to pass two parameters. So the first one is about the browser related whatever driver you want to call, and the second one is the driver exe file. So let's say like I want to launch for Chrome, right? So I am thinking about Chrome. So for that case I have to write like webdriver.chrome.driver. This is the text you need to pass, and you have to pass the path of the exe file. Path of the Chrome driver.exe. Since it is a Windows machine, I am talking about exe. Accordingly, the other operating system will have the other extension for the driver files. So this is the actual path which is inside the computer path. So C drive, and it can be in the documents or downloads or D drive, anywhere. So the path you need to specify. So this is the syntax. First of all, you have to declare this, and this exe file you have to download it from the internet, from the official website, like selenium.dev is the official website. There you can go and download that, and then you have to configure that. That's how like old projects we used to do. So in Selenium 4.6 and 4.25 I am not going to do that. So if you are using an older projects, this is the step you were doing previously. And if I talk about other browsers like Edge browser, and even Firefox browser, the syntax will be like similar, only slight changes are there. So for Edge browser, you have to talk about Edge webdriver.edge.driver, and here you have to pass the Edge driver exe file path. And coming to the Firefox, so Firefox will not be called as Firefox directly, it is called as Gecko driver. So gecko.driver and path of the gecko driver.exe. So this path you have to set, and after that you can, if you are launching the Chrome browser, Chrome driver you will use. If you are launching the Edge browser, Edge driver you have to use. Firefox means Firefox driver you have to use. So this is for older versions of Selenium. And there is an other third party library also developed by one more person. So in order to avoid this, right, so this exe file I have to manually download from the official website, and I have to put it in my project, and every week or every month the browser version will be incremented, like updated, and the driver also need to be updated. If I talk about this browser and the browser binaries, so both should be the same version. If any version mismatch is happening, right, so the automation will not work. So the version should be exactly matching. So the system.set property, whatever I am writing, so the driver exe file, whatever you are using, uh, that should be matching with the browser version that you are using in your computer. Suppose I am using Microsoft Edge, right? So if you go to the Microsoft Edge and check about Microsoft Edge, so here you can see some version is there. So this version and the driver exe file version should be exactly same. Then only the browser will launch and the automation with Selenium will work. So this is a manual process. You need to download the exe file from selenium.dev or other websites wherever that particular browser company has kept the code, right? So that way you have to do. So that is the previous thing. So there is another third party library which is developed by one person. Third party library that is called as WebDriverManager, created by Boni Gracia. So Boni Gracia is a person who is contributing some work to the open source. So WebDriverManager is an open source project, and it is a third party library similar to Selenium, Java, jar files. WebDriverManager is also another jar file. So this is a library only, jar libraries. So if you are using this, you can use this manual process. In case you want to use any driver binary, right? So you can skip this line of code, whatever I am selecting highlighted right now, and you can use some methods which are provided in the WebDriver Manager. So this is also required only the previous versions of Selenium, not with the latest versions. So I am talking about the previous version. So uh, after a few minutes, like we will see like how it happens with Selenium Manager. So if you want to avoid this line of code, right, you have to write some other line of code. So that line of code look like WebDriver Manager dot chrome dot setup. In case you want to skip this line of code, you have to download this Chrome exe file according to the browser version manual process, right? This is a manual process. If you want to avoid this process, what you have to do, you have to add the Selenium library dependency. So WebDriver Manager dependency, you have to add in the Maven project. So how I have added the Selenium dependency, similarly the WebDriver Manager dependency, we can get it from the mvnrepository.com, and we can set up that. So I will show that. And after that, instead of writing this line of code, I can write webdrivermanager.chrome.setup. So the same is applicable for even the other browsers. So instead of Chrome, you can write Edge here. Instead of this, you can also write Firefox. So even the other browsers. So whenever you want to use the other browsers, put the dot and you will be able to access that. So this is how you used to do. So this will take care of the downloading the compatible version. So if I go to the browser, this is my version, right? 129 is my version. So what the Boni Gracia WebDriver Manager library will do, right? So it will go to the internet and search for the compatible driver exe file, and it is automatically downloaded into the local and it take care of that. So this is one way in order to avoid this manual process. This is very tedious because whenever the browser version is incremented, you have to get the latest exe file one more time. So this is a manual process. So this is not automatically taken care in the old versions of Selenium. So some Selenium 4.6 onward, Selenium Manager is an inbuilt feature that take care of this. So we will discuss about this. Before that, let's go to the mvnrepository.com and check about the. So I'm opening Google search and go to MVN repository. So open Maven repository. This is the central repository. Search for WebDriver Manager. So it is created by Boni Gracia, right? io.github.bonigracia and WebDriver Manager. So the last version is released in July month, 5.9.2. So you have to click on the latest version and you have to copy this dependency and you can paste it into your pom.xml file. In case you are using an older version of Selenium before 4.5.0, 4.6.0, the before versions of that, if you are using here, you can add the additional dependency. So uh, you have to just copy this dependency, just copy this, and you have to paste it here. So right now I am not going to use it. I just wanted to tell you the background. So this is one way and this is another way. So since we are using the latest version, I'm not going to go back and check anything. But in case your old projects is having something, right? So you have to follow this approach, and also to make you understand the background of Selenium, how the binaries used to work. Now come back to the Selenium Manager feature. So let me open one of the code, or I will create a new package for today. Create a new package called day3, and I am going to write some lines of code. So create a new class and say like Selenium Manager feature. So I'm putting some name, any name I can give for the class, and select the main method. Now what I will do, I am not going to use any driver exe file, but how the driver exe file will come to my local, I am going to explain. So Chrome driver equal to new Chrome driver. This code will launch the Chrome browser. So keep the cursor on this and import the Chrome driver. So this is the package you have to import from Selenium. And after that, whenever I execute this code, it is going to launch the Chrome browser. And if you see, I have not written anything about the driver exe file. So system.set property I have not done, but still it works. Run as Java application. So Chrome browser is launched successfully, and uh, let me close this. So if you want to check like where the driver exe files are saved, right? If you go to the C drive, so let me go to my computer C drive and go to users folder, and Swaroop Nadella is my current user, and there is a dot cache folder. If you open dot cache, right, there is a Selenium folder. If you open Selenium, you can see like manager is one folder is there, and Chrome driver, Gecko driver, MS Edge driver. So all these different drivers are there. First of all, let's go to the manager. So the day one of Selenium I told on 29th September. So at that time I have installed in my machine 4.25 version. So Selenium Manager for that version was downloaded. And in order to explain the Maven project for version changing in the yesterday's session, like I have told a demo about 4.23.1, the subversion, how to change and how it will download into the local I have showed. Like the code will download into this M2 repository. So that I have showed yesterday. So today, like these two are already available in my machine on 29th September and 5th October. Already it has downloaded. If the version is already available, again the download will not happen. So this is a 3 MB file, 3.5 MB. So in case this is not there, right? Let me think like these two versions are not there. Let me shift delete. So I am deleting these files, and let's execute the code one more time. So I'm saving this class file and run as Java application. Right now Selenium Manager is not available. So still the browser is launched Chrome browser. If I go back and check the dot cache, right? Go to dot cache Selenium Manager. So the version 4.25, 0.4.25, this is downloaded in today's date. If it is already there, it will not download again. But in case if it is not there, I am doing shift delete one more time. So the manager I have deleted intentionally, I have deleted this. And if I execute one more time, it will download the Selenium Manager to my local. It will happen automatically, nothing we have to do. So the browser is launched, and if I go back, Selenium Manager will be available. So in case this version is already available, it will not download again. So second time, if I am already having this, right? So the timestamp is 1740. So if I execute one more time, it will not download again. So the browser is launched, and the previous version it will take. In case it is not available only, it will download. Suppose if I run it one more time after 10 minutes, the timestamp will be the old timestamp only, because it is using the old version only. This is about Selenium Manager, and Selenium Manager is something which internally it take care of the browser driver exe files. So if we go to the Chrome driver now, go to Chrome driver, and my machine is Windows operating system, 64-bit operating system. So if I go here, there are multiple browsers that are available here. So if I open the Chrome, Google Chrome, and let me check the version of this. So go to help menu about Google Chrome. The version is 129.0.666.8.90. So dot 89 or 90 both are I think the subversion it may not take, only the first three digits it will take, I think. So for testing purpose, the other versions also I have actually tested it in my local. So what I will do, I will be going to delete everything. So sometimes the process is continuously running in the background. So what I will do, I will kill all these Chrome driver exe files. So there are so many running since I have run multiple times. So let me select everything. Okay. Selecting everything is not happening. So let me end all these things. So I am going to end all these things and shift delete first, and then we will start fresh. So all the exe files are killed now. So let me close this. Now I am going to delete everything. Try again. So now the Chrome driver folder is empty. So first of all, let's close this browser and go back. So here I am just executing run as Java application. So the browser will be launched in my machine. So the empty browser only it will launch. So you can minimize this and go back to the .cache Selenium Chrome driver. You can see Windows 64 is again downloaded, and the version is .90, right? So I think the last version you can ignore, but the first three numbers are important: 129.0.6668. So these three are important. So the driver, Chrome driver exe file is automatically downloaded. Whatever browser is installed in my computer, accordingly that version will be auto downloaded by the Selenium Manager. So the Selenium Manager take care of that implicitly. So this is an inbuilt feature. It happens automatically. And why I'm explaining this multiple times, right? So because whenever you are facing in any company any kind of issues, you need to know some background of the Chrome driver also. I don't want to skip this, so just I thought to explain it. And there are few more things about Chrome browser for testing also. So in order to explain that, so I need to give the background of Chrome driver also. So this is how the Chrome driver exe file will run. So based on the browser version, it will download the exe file matching compatible version. It will download. In case tomorrow, like the other version is downloaded in my machine, right? If I go to the about Google Chrome, you can see that Chrome is up to date. Uh, this is a production Google Chrome, right? So this version will auto update in my machine. So if any new version comes after 1 or 2 days or 1 month also, the version will auto update. So whenever an updated version is there in my machine, so the compatible Chrome driver exe file will be downloaded automatically by the Selenium Manager. So Selenium Manager take care of it. So the latest version of Selenium, that is the advantage. And whenever you are starting your practice, or in case you are starting a new automation framework in your company also, always use the latest version. Today it is 4.25, but tomorrow it can be 5.2 or 5.10 also. Like 6 also, Selenium 6 also can come, right, after 3 years, 2 years. So you have to always try to use the latest version. In case your company is having dependency of some specific version, then you should be aware of the dependencies also. What are the exe files or the browsers you have to use, you have to know. So right now I am using the latest version, so it take care of the Chrome driver exe file. So the similar example applies for all the other browsers. So Gecko driver is for Firefox. It take care of the Gecko driver download automatically, it will happen. And the Microsoft Edge also, MS Edge also, it will take care of the driver exe file download, it will take care of. So instead of Chrome driver, you can put Edge driver and Firefox driver, and you can practice that today. So you can go to the dot cache folder, and you can able to see that. So first of all, if you don't have anything, when you start testing, these folders will get created. Since I have tested it with the Firefox and Microsoft Edge in yesterday's session, so in yesterday's date, these folders are already there. So if you are starting freshly, right? So even the cache dot cache may not be there in your machine. So it will start creating whenever you are writing your first line of code. So this is the simple code you can write for launching a browser. So the Chrome driver will get downloaded, and in case the browser is some version and the driver exe is a different version, right? In case you are using an older version of Selenium, so any compatibility issues are there, then it will throw an error in the console saying and browser will not launch. So the compatibility versions should be matching. So the browser and the binary exe file should be the same version. If there is a mismatch means the it will not work. But that use case I cannot show now. That happens only with the old versions of Selenium. Right now it take care of that automatically. So no need to do anything. So up to this is fine. So even you can avoid using the WebDriver Manager also. If you are using latest version of Selenium, WebDriver Manager is also not required, and system.setProperty is also not required. These two are not required, and Selenium Manager we can use. So we are not doing anything new here. So we are just putting the version of Selenium latest, and it take care of everything.